Let me tell you a story about a magical realm with fairies. No, not the kind that play tricks and leave changelings behind in the forest. These fairies are different. This is Verdington Castle. It has a very special history. For generations, it has been home to the royal family of Dragon Valley. The Verdington bloodline has ruled the queendom from their throne at the edge of the valley. But they've almost died out. There was a time when their influence and prestige spread over the fairy populace long ago, before Queen Chamomile took a husband 2 generations ago. That was the beginning of their decline. New adventurous policies dwindled fairy numbers until all that remained were odd pockets of outcast families in the valley. This is where Queen Thistle took her last breath, battling the weight of her mother's mistake as the world grew dimmer. There was no one at her side when she went, except for her daughter, the heiress to the Verdington crown. As she held the dying queen's hand, she made a promise. The royal family would not waste away. Now, there is a new queen on the Verdington throne. She is young and inexperienced, but she is determined to rewrite the future. For that, she must return to the ancient ways, to the matriarchal traditions of her ancestors, the fairy Amazons.
Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome to The Sims 3 Fairy Amazon. So, how the heck did we get here? Yes, I could not resist. I had to do another Amazon series, and this time I had to do it in Sims 3. I've just been feeling so inspired recently, I couldn't stop myself. So, on a whim, yesterday, I decided to go ahead and just buy Dragon Valley. And then I figured, you know what, now that I have Dragon Valley, why shouldn't I do an Amazon challenge? Now previously I was very concerned about this because I was scared that the game would crash and I would lose a bunch of things. I know other people have played and it's been rough on them, so I was very hesitant on that, but I have been doing my Pleasant View series recently, and you know what, my game's been handling the generations pretty good, and I figured I can do an Amazon tribe. I can do my fairy court that I want so badly in The Sims 3, and hopefully everything is going to go just swimmingly. So I spent my entire Saturday going through, creating my queen, going castle shopping on the exchange, because there is no way that I'm going to be building a castle in The Sims 3. It is just not my forte. And then going CC shopping for the queen herself, creating a backstory for her, writing a 3-page Google document with all my fairy Amazon rules because I like to have unique societies that kind of influence the way I play and the way our societies develop. So I got all of that sorted, and now I'm sitting down, guys, with you, ready to record and get this episode out there. Now, before you get too excited, I don't know how this series is going to go. I don't know if I'm gonna continue this or if it's just gonna be like a short thing, because I'm gonna gauge how everyone else feels about it. I don't want to force it on you if it's not something you guys are enjoying or something you guys want, but if I know a lot of you are super into this and just as excited as me, then I'm gonna keep going and nothing is gonna stop me, just like Vampire Amazon. So guys, let's jump into our beautiful fairy queen. So as you know, we have our Generation 1 Queen Monarch over here, our fabulous fairy, Queen Ivy Verdington, who is going to be starting off our Amazon legacy, essentially. So she is from a royal line that's been on the decline for various reasons, one of which is because her grandmother decided to take on a husband, and then she started having all these really like modern policies that were encouraging all the fairies to go out and explore the realm and other creatures, supernaturals, other beings to come in and live in Dragon Valley. And we're at the point where there's pretty much no fairies around. Our royal powers have dwindled quite a bit, and our lovely queen here wants to revive the Verdington bloodline. She wants to revive the royal family, their prestige, bring them back to the glory days of the fairies. And to do this, she needs to start assembling a fairy court, because as you guys know, by the time her mother died, everyone had left their side, and now it's up to her to rebuild it. So that is exactly what we are going to be doing with her, which I'm super, super excited about. Now, let's quickly have a look at our fairy before I dive into other things. So, our queen is a Cancer. Her favorites are Chinese music, tofu dog, and the color blue. She is a supernatural fan, a gatherer, a bookworm, an animal lover, and nurturing. So I like to think that she is a very loving, a very kind queen who isn't really out to conquer and take over and, you know, rule over people with an iron fist. She just wants to take care of her family, and she wants to bring them back to the glory days. She wants to restore the honor that they had in the past, because, you know, she loves her family, she loves her royal line, and she truly believes that they're doing good out in the world. So that's what she's all about. And look at her little candy crown. Ah, it's so cute. She's got an adorable candy crown with like metal cat ears that I just love, and I felt like it was so adorable I had to give it to her. Fits her character quite a bit in my opinion. But she's also got some very interesting genes. So she has white wings, which I kind of want all of the royal children to inherit, kind of like as a sign of royalty. And then she's got this beautiful, almost turquoise blue hair, which looks quite fabulous in my opinion, and I love the fact that in The Sims 3 we can do crazy things like this because of our color wheel and just the way genetics work. It plays into fantasy, like Let's Plays so flippin' well. But she's got this blue hair, again a sign of royalty, or kind of royal traits that she's inherited over the generations. And she's got these pale yellow eyes, if you can see that over there. She's got pale yellow eyes, and in the future I am not going to like make it a prerequisite that the princesses have to have the hair and eye color to become queen. No, it's probably going to change in the future, and I'm completely fine with that, but I wanted to start off with something a little bit interesting and exciting, and that way, if we have like the eye color, the hair color, if it lasts into several generations, it's going to be such an amazing thing, and it's just going to be so fun for us to look back on and think, whoa, all these royal traits, they've passed on for so long. Also, you guys will know I love my sharp ears, so our queen does have the elven ears that is hiding under her hair, so we can't see it just yet, but hopefully that's also a trait that's going to pass on, and something I'm really excited about as well. And I'm going to make sure that all of our fairy court members and our witch goes ahead and she actually has those sharp ears. I will be jumping into cast whenever we get like new characters. One, to give them a makeover and decide their color theme. Look at our queen. She's got like a powder blue, navy blue, and dusty blue theme going on in all her outfits, which I love. Is just the aesthetic that I thought of for her, and I am pretty in love. Pretty in love. Have I said that enough? I think I have. I'm sorry guys, I'm just so excited. But I'm going to be doing a like theme for each character, so our different roles, I'm not going to have a specific color attached to a role and the outfits they wear. I'm just going to choose a unique theme for each character because it makes them more memorable to me, and I just love that. And it's fun. It's fun to play around with colors, guys. It's fun to do that. So we're going to do all of those things. And then I'm also going to, whenever we get a new character, because we don't really have a lot of supernaturals, I think, in Dragon Valley. At least we probably don't have, like, a bunch of witches and fairies. There's stuff that I'm going to have to put in. So instead of creating them, what I'll do is whenever I get someone from around town that I have join the households or become part of our court, I'm going to keep everything about them the same, but I'm going to jump into cast, and I'm just going to, like, sharpen the ears up, give them wings, like make them a supernatural through NRAS, change their cult status. We're not going to be playing with hybrids, just to make that clear. I'm going to be sticking with our pure blood fairies and witches, primarily. Maybe in the future I'll bring in like werewolves and vampires for something else, I don't know, but I like to stick with a specific kind of supernatural in a cult because I build like a whole culture around how they do things, and that's one of the ways that I have fun in my stories, being really specific with the type of occult that we're playing with. But okay, that's me rambling about our queen. Now what I'm going to do is let her kind of go about, look at her, she looks so adorable. I love her so much. I'm going to let her go around and get up to whatever she wants while I chat to you guys about some other things. So we've talked about our fairy queen, and now I want to quickly go through some of our challenge rules, because this is what's going to influence how we play this series and how our stories develop. So I have, as I said, made a 3-page Google document that I will link in the description. So if you guys want to check it out for yourselves, you can go and have a read. And always refer back to that. If you want to play this in your own games, that's going to be really cool and fun as well. So I have all of that prepped. But essentially, we have a bunch of roles that are slightly different to the ones you guys might be used to. So one of the roles we have is a hero. So the hero is going to be kind of like a champion equivalent, and they are going to be the queen's defenders and biggest supporters. And then we're going to have a philosopher. A philosopher is like a scholar equivalent. So they are the queen's closest advisor. They're the ones who are going to be doing research of things around the queendom and advising the queen on what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. And basically giving the queen good counsel. And then in times of strife, they're going to go ahead and partner with the hero to carry out joint investigations that they can report back to the queen. Then we have the minister. So the minister is kind of like a minister of culture. So they're going to be a combination of the scholar and priestess roles. So they're the ones who are going to keep track of our history, the old Amazon queens. They're going to essentially make sure that fairy culture stays alive and well, and that the queen is not forgetting all of those amazing things that connects her with her fairy folk and her people. So holidays, organizing celebrations and events, that's going to be the job of our minister. And then we have our sorceress. So our sorceress is going to be the only witch that we have in our court. She is going to be our potions master, who's going to make sure that she has all the concoctions ready for when the queen needs it, either in war or for personal use, whatever the queen wants, whatever members of the court want. But she's going to make sure that the queen has a ready supply of all of those amazing things. And then, obviously, her magical talents, that comes with the magic of witches. Also, in times of strife, she's going to operate a network of spies across the queendom that help her keep up with rumors and like have different pieces of news reported back to her. And I have a really cool idea for how I want that to play out in the future, but I will get to it when we have our sorceress, because it's going to take us a few episodes. I don't want to kind of info dump on you along with everything else that I have to tell you like in this episode. And again, I'm so sorry if this is a little bit tedious, but it's the introductory episode. I need to get all of this out of the way so that in the future when we do our stories, you guys are completely on board, you know what's going on, and we're not confused about how things are working, because I've already kind of gotten that out of the way in the first episode. So bear with me, guys. Bear with me. But, oh, look at it. I love when she does that. I love it when she flies around with her wings like that. It's so adorable. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, you're so cute, my queen. You're so cute, Queen Ivy. Okay, now that I've stopped freaking out over the roles, we won't have a broodmother equivalent because I'm actually planning on raising the girls in the castle. So let's dive straight into breeding, why don't we? So in our fairy Amazon, the fairies must breed with fairy males, and then our sorceress must breed with a witch male. The rules of the original Amazon still apply in that they can only have one child with a male. What am I saying? That doesn't make sense. They can only breed with a male once is what I'm trying to say. So if they mate with a male and they get pregnant and they have his child and it's a boy, obviously the goal is to have girls. If they have a boy, then we can't have another child with that same sim, with that same male. We have to have a different male every time. We're trying for, we're trying to get pregnant. So pregnancies cannot repeat fathers, essentially. I hope that makes sense. If you guys are familiar with the Amazon challenge, then you guys will kind of know what I'm going on about. I don't have to ramble too much. That makes sense. So boys will be sent to be raised by their fathers. The girls will be kept in the castle to be raised here. I feel like babies and toddlers are easier to look after in The Sims 3, so I am happy to try this out. If I get to the point where I'm tearing my hair out and I just can't handle it, then I will set up something like a nursery, or where the babies can kind of be sent off to and be raised and join us when they're children again. But I'm going to try my best to make this happen. I want to do that. I feel like I can. I feel like I can do it. And pregnancies work in a slightly complicated manner in terms of explanation. I do have it in the Google document, so it's going to be a lot easier if you guys just go ahead and read that. It's not going to make sense if I try and ramble. But just know that in the future, when I'm picking my breedings and I'm doing things, there is a method to my madness. And there is a reason why I'm doing things It's in the order is there, you can check the document. But yeah, we have kind of a way that we organize the pregnancies that are going to be happening in the court. So there we go. They're one, to have order, and two, to enhance randomness, because I do love my bit of randomness here and there. So that's what you have in terms of pregnancies. And marriage, how does marriage work? So in fairy society, there is no gender discrimination when it comes to love. So our fairies, they could get romantically involved with a male, and they could also get romantically involved with a female, although it's probably more encouraged to be with other females. Now, oh geez, I just knocked my table. So when our Sims want to get married, they have to seek permission from the queen. And then it's essentially up to us to decide whether or not, for the purpose of our story, we want them to get together or we want them to stay apart. So that's essentially how it's going to work. But obviously, if our Sims get together with members of the court or descendants of the court, there's a higher chance that the queen is going to go ahead and approve that, just because you're kind of like in the family in some sense. Obviously you don't want to be into incest, but you're in the family, you're in the court, essentially. You're in family positions of power to make those kind of requests and want those things to happen. And we know that whoever you're with, essentially everyone's going to be loyal to the queen. So that's how marriages are going to work. And when we do have two Sims get married, regardless of whether they're male or female, they're both going to change their last names so that they take on a little bit of their partner's name. So similar to how we have it in the Vampire Amazons. So if we have a Dark Rain marrying a Rana, then the Rana's new name is going to be Rana Rain after marriage, and the Dark Rain's new name after marriage is going to be Dark Rana. It's confusing. Check out the document. You guys will know what I'm trying to say. But yes, the queen is exempt from this rule. She does not have to change her name, and her daughters don't have to change their names, especially if they're in line for the throne. But her sisters do have to abide by that. So if Queen Ivy had sisters and they got married to another like male fairy or female fairy, they would have to change their last name. So they don't get rid of their name. They don't change it to their partner's name. But both of the partners essentially get new last names that combine their two names together. So that's how it works. And then all of their children get the new name inherited as well. So that's just a way of fusing together families and bloodlines and unifying them. So that's how marriages work. And what about succession? How does that happen? Do we have like battling with the fairies or something like that? No, we don't. So it's not going to be that aggressive. What's going to happen is whenever a princess turns into a teen, she is going to select an aspiration that she will use to prove that she is worthy of becoming queen. And she will have to complete that aspiration in order to receive the crown from her mother. And that whole process is going to be called the proving. So they can get started as soon as they're teens. Obviously, the queen's oldest daughter is going to be the heiress, but all princesses can do the proving when they become teens. And whichever princess completes the aspiration first, they're going to become the next queen. So even though the first daughter is going to be the heiress, for example, if the third daughter completed her aspiration first, then she becomes the queen. So that's how it's going to work. And what happens? What happens to our beautiful, beautiful monarchs once they retire from the throne and hand it over to their child? Do they have to take part in some sort of tribute where they're all put on fire and killed in the flames? No. We won't have anything of that terrible, terrible sort, guys. Not in this series. In this series, whenever a queen retires from the throne, she's going to take her court and settle down in a cottage somewhere in Dragon Valley, and that little spot is going to be known as the Royal Village. So as the generations go by, we might have quite a few royal villages going on. And I'll have to see how my game handles it, whether or not it can take having that many Sims, or if it's going crazy and I have to do something about it. But essentially, the older fairies are going to live out their days in peace in the royal village without getting involved in politics or matters of the court. Now, I'm thinking about whether or not I should include a rule where, like, old members of courts, like older generations, they're not allowed to set foot in the castle again. We can go visit them. Oh my goodness, what's happening? What is happening? I thought she was drowning. I was like, already? This is like the first episode. But yes, she's not drowning. She's fine. She's okay, guys. Don't freak out. Yeah, I'm wondering if they should be allowed back into the castle or not. maybe like members of the court can visit them, but our old queens and our old court members, our old fairies, they can't come and visit the castle again. It's off bounds for them. That's one of the ways we kind of distinguish between who's in power and who's not. So that's what I'm thinking about. And that's pretty much it, I think. And then they have like natural deaths, so we don't kind of worry about destroying them or anything like that. And then we have holidays, which I only have one set up so far. Obviously, as we play, we can develop more holidays organically from stories that happen, events that happen, or suggestions you guys give, ideas I think of even. For now, though, we only have the Candy Crown celebration that is going to be happening once our queen has acquired all the members of her court. So once we get a hero, a philosopher, a minister, and a sorceress, then we're going to have a Candy Crown celebration where they give gifts to our queen and swear fealty to her. That's essentially what's going to happen. And yeah, I'm very excited about all of those things. Now that the challenge rules have been dealt with and out of the way, let's have a super quick tour of the castle. So as I said, there was no way I was building in The Sims 3, especially a castle. It's just not my forte, not something I have figured out, or I don't know if I ever will figure it out. I'm so scared to jump into cast, because when I spend too much time in cast, my game does crash. So I'm happy to renovate. I'm not going to be building though. So for this castle, look at how cool it looks. It's got like almost like a slightly desertish, medieval kind of vibe. And it feels very old for sure, so I love that. And this was made by Lizzie O'Reilly 3 on the Exchange. I will put the crate in the description so you guys can go find that and download this castle if you want. It looks so cool on the outside, and it is cool on the inside as well, but it does look quite sparse. Now, I like the idea that it's that way because our royal family has been in decline for the past few generations, and we've obviously lost a lot of things. And one of the missions that we're going to be doing with our lovely Queen Ivy Verdington is slowly over time trying to renovate like parts of the castle. And just bringing them back to life as a way of showing that the queen is regaining her power and her prestige across the queendom. So I think that's going to be exciting. We'll have little projects between episodes from time to time as we try and renovate different parts of the castle. And also, I have several rooms that are like empty, or they're like sitting rooms that I don't feel as though we're going to use as much. So as we get the different characters and different court members, I'm probably going to go ahead, renovate them, change them to be specific. Like we might have an alchemy room instead of a sitting room, something like that. I'll probably change the layout of things quite a bit. But okay, we have this kind of car for the queen that is like a motor carriage, and it looked kind of old school and cool, so I'm happy for the queen to keep that. Although she might just use her wings to fly around from place to place, but she's a royal, I feel like that's something she should have. You come up these grand stairs, which I flippin' love. Look at this balcony here. You can get like a really nice view of the surrounding valley, which is awesome. We come up these stairs, and then we have a bit of a hallway over here that goes into... Hold on a second, let me just jump up this way. That goes into the dining room. And then we have a bathroom. And then we have our makeshift throne room over here, which used to be a pool before, but I kind of covered it up and just put down a throne and whatnot. Come this way down the hall, we have a kitchen, and then we have the sitting room, one of the first that I was talking about, that I will convert at some point. And then, if you come out this way, we have a pool outside, which is kind of like a crescent moon and looks really adorable. A fireplace, some lounging areas. We even have like a little slide over here for the kids. So this castle is kid-friendly, which is nice to note. We have a bar on this end. Now, if we go up a level, we have a games room over here. So this is kind of like a separate tower almost. And then if you come up, I think from the dining room, you have a little nursery over here. You have a bathroom, we have a bedroom with one, like a single bed, more bathrooms, a little kid's playroom, and then this is where we have the queen's apartments, essentially. So she's got her royal chambers, she's got her ensuite bathroom, which is quite nice. If we go up another level over here, we have like these empty sitting rooms, which it is so dark. Let me turn on all the lights. We've got these empty sitting rooms, which I'm thinking will convert into bedrooms at some stage because we're going to need them once we start having more members join the family. And then we have an office on this side, which I'm looking to convert in the future. And then this is an empty room, which will need something to happen to it. And then we have a sitting room. And then back this way, we have two more bedrooms and like a space out here with like a fireplace. So again, a lot of rooms and apartments for the various fairies that are going to be joining us. But that's essentially all we have. I don't think we have a basement level. I don't know if I'll build a basement level. Probably not, but we do have a lot of space. Like, we actually have land out here on the outskirts. So if need be, I could actually make little huts or houses with... Look, we have a member coming on! Riordan and Miss Rylan. We have, like, some really cool Sims walking around from the world of Dragon Valley. But, yeah, we can go ahead and kind of add little huts or houses, sheds almost, apartments, whatever you want to call them, around the castle that might have various other things as well, that don't fit in the actual castle itself. That's pretty much what we're working with, what we have going on, and yeah. That's pretty much it for my introduction, guys. I think I've gone through and chatted about everything I wanted to chat about, and oh my goodness, what is this? Martin is now the father of a new baby girl. Maeve just gave birth to a baby girl named Rachel. Well, that's nice. I think she was pregnant beforehand. Now, I hope that... I'm pretty sure my story progression is off, just because I don't want this game to go crazy populating itself and then cause issues for us. If it's not and I start getting notifications, I will deal with that, so don't worry about it, guys, too much. But, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, our game can keep injecting characters in over time, which it will randomly generate, but I am just happy to stick with, like, our tribe or our court having the babies that I need. I'm happy for that to happen, especially if we want our older generations to live in peace and prosperity, and share, like, Dragon Valley with us and not die. I need to take care of my game that way. But that's pretty much all I have going on, guys, for what I wanted to address in this video. Now, another thing, please, please, please let me know how long you want these episodes to be. I haven't decided at this point what I'm going to do for the episode times. I want your suggestions on how long you want the episodes and what will make you feel happy and excited about our stories. And I'll take that into consideration and decide how we're going to go about doing this. Another thing, please go ahead and leave me some baby names. We're not going to be having children until I get all our members of the court, so the hero, philosopher, minister, and sorceress. But sometimes I do go ahead and record ahead because of work, so it is easy for me to have a list prepared. Or I will start a separate list of baby names for our Fairy Amazon series from all the suggestions you guys give me across the episodes, and then I'll just pull from that list whenever we have a baby and I'm naming it. Like this episode, I am putting it out the day I'm recording it, but sometimes I do record ahead of schedule. So during those times when I can't get to you guys for a pregnancy, if I can't get to you guys for a birth, I like having those names on hand. But I think that was pretty much all that I had to talk about, and I hope you guys are just as excited about this whole thing as I am, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye, guys!